Today we are going to be discussing Sam Sulek's physique. Do I think politics are going to play a little part in the judging? I am shocked at how his skin turned out to be. One of the richest bodybuilders in the world right now. Do I see Sam Sulek becoming Mr. Olympia one day? What's up, guys, and welcome to today's episode. Now, I know it's been a while since I've done any English videos, and I've said several times before that I will start posting on this channel, and I haven't, but this time for sure I am going to start posting. I would really appreciate a subscribe just to kind of give me a kick in the butt that I know that there are still some people watching. Now, today we are going to be discussing Sam Sulek's physique, as the video title describes, from an IFBB pro's perspective. So I will give a breakdown on what I think on Sam Sulek's physique so far, and just my general opinion on honestly what he's done with himself as a fitness influencer, and we can finally say bodybuilder. So let's begin. All right, guys. So 3 days out, Sam Sulek from his first competition. Let's take a look at the physique. All right, so he's done back, and he's going to show us his back pump. I mean, already looking at his physique, super dry, striated everywhere, and a lot of the criticism that he was getting about his skin, this has all been fixed, taken care of. Look at that Christmas tree. My God. Look at that lat spread. Those rear delts popping. Absolutely popping. Very low lat insert. Oh man, that Christmas tree is amazing. Very good back double bicep. I would suggest he flex his glutes just because his lat insertions are very low. So they would give him a better V-taper. If he were to flex his glutes, they'll be a little higher. Look at that pose right there. Very different muscle maturity, very different muscular development than what we've seen before. Now, we've also seen a clip that he's posted a couple of days ago on his Instagram. Let's take a look at that clip as well. Look at that. Look at those chest striations. You know, he gets a little bit of criticism that his waist is a little wide. I don't think so. If we compare Chris Bumstead's waist to Ramon has a much smaller waist, but I find that extra small waist is more suited for bodybuilding, like 212 or open bodybuilding, whereas the classic physique, they can get away with a little bit of a wider physique. I think his genetics are showing to be very good, at least compared to what we thought he'd look like after he starts dieting down. So honestly, my opinion is that he looks fantastic. Now, I know a lot of you would be thinking, well, of course you're going to say that. The guy has 6 million followers on Instagram and 4 million subscribers on YouTube. I would probably said otherwise just to gain more traction and more views, because obviously anything that is usually contradicting to what people want to hear gets more views. But honestly, I think he looks fucking great, man. I think he's going to do very well in his show. Do I think politics are gonna kind of somehow play a little part in the judging? I mean, honestly, politics plays a part in every sport. I'm a big Formula One guy. You can see from the sim rig behind me and that engine check light on. I'm a sim racer, and I only watch racing. There's a lot of politics involved. There is always politics involved. And when a racer is usually favored by, let's say, the FIA, which are, kind of like the judges, the stewards of the race, they're usually more lenient toward their favorite driver. So I don't think that's kind of like a thing where it's like, oh shit, politics, that's everywhere. As an athlete, I think it's kind of your job to promote yourself and put yourself in favor to whoever's about to judge or decide the fate of your career. It is part of the way the world works now. social media just kind of runs everything. And if you don't have a strong social media presence, it's because you choose not to have a social media presence. And maybe that's because either you don't like social media or because you're kind of lazy. And that really comes back to your decision. So whatever choices you make will either pay you or you will pay for them. That's kind of how I see it. So I definitely think Sam Sulek puts himself in a very good position for his upcoming show. I wouldn't be surprised if he turns pro within a year. I don't know what his plans are after the show. I'm guessing he might do another off season and compete again, although there are a few shows that could grant him a pro card given his current shape that he's in today. So that will be interesting to watch. Now, here's another thought, and this is far-fetched. Do I see Sam Sulek becoming Mr. Olympia one day? I don't see why not. The guy has an insane amount of loyal fans. And if you see the comments, he does have that Chris Bumstead effect where just everybody loves him. And everybody wants to see him win. And you know what? When you kind of think about it, it's amazing what he's really done with himself. This is a guy who was, middle class, your typical middle class American family. Probably, I don't know, guessing, graduated high school, not much direction on, where he's headed towards his future. And he just loved lifting weights, and he decided to record himself doing so. Lowest quality equipment, no editing, nothing fancy, just putting himself out there and being as real and as raw, no pun intended, as raw as possible for his audience. And within 2 years, the guy becomes automatically one of the richest bodybuilders in the world right now, just based off his YouTube earnings. He's filmed a training video with Jay Cutler just a couple of weeks ago. And mind you, he has more followers than Jay Cutler. We're talking about a guy who's beaten Ronnie Coleman and is still very relevant to this day in the world of bodybuilding. I mean, I aspired to become kind of like a Jay Cutler for the Middle East. Obviously without the Olympia titles, but at least in terms of financial success. And, I've done fairly well for myself. But you look at Sam Sulek and it's like, holy shit, that's just another level of success. I've seen a lot of comments where they say this is a classic case of quick rise, quick fall. I don't really think so. I think he's in it for the long run. He obviously has made, some mistakes in his earlier start when he was filming YouTube videos, and he was kind of like dieting all over the place with the chocolate milk and the Subway sandwiches. But I think he's learned and he's come a long way from that. And, the guidance that he's getting now from obviously top pros like Jay Cutler, and I'm sure even his time with spent with Fuad and all the bodybuilders around him, he's learned tremendously. And I think this guy's gonna go places, man. Like this, I wouldn't be surprised if Sam Sulek becomes Mr. Olympia one day. And I know some may say like his genetics aren't, qualified enough, or they don't render him to become a Mr. Olympia. You don't know that. The body changes as you move along, and as you progress in bodybuilding, the body just changes. And I've experienced that firsthand. A lot of my genetic weak points in my career, such as my arms, became one of the strong points. I always kind of had like smaller clavicles. I was one of the wider guys in the 212. So you just don't know where that goes. I think he has the passion for bodybuilding to become possibly one day the classic Mr. Olympia. I mean, we'll see. But in terms of my opinion on where his physique stands as of right now, I think he's looking great. He is drier than a lot of pros out there. A lot of pros competing at a pro level who have been veterans for a long time. I think he is drier than most of them. And he is still 4 days out. Now, mind you, when he gets into the show, he still has a few pounds of water to lose. So he's going to be even drier. His skin looks great. And I am shocked. I am shocked at how his skin turned out to be, which kind of shows that most of the side effects, I think, from anabolic steroids, and I've spoken to that with Niall on his podcast, a lot of the side effects, you'd be surprised that they are more so related to your lifestyle with anabolic steroids than anabolic steroids on their own. So if you're eating very well, if you're doing cardio, and obviously if you have good genetics to handle the side effects, I think you can get away with a lot. Sam Sulek was one of the people that I personally criticized on my Arabic YouTube channel. And I used to say that this guy is just not fit for using anabolic steroids, given, I mean, look at his skin, look at all the acne he's getting, look at all that water retention, that redness is a sign of high blood pressure. And look at his skin now. Super clear, super dry. And I think that has to do a lot with his diet. He has eliminated a lot of the foods that are, causing inflammation. And I think most of these side effects are just a combination of just a bad diet, which has to do with, poor lifestyle and the anabolic steroids. Cleared his lifestyle, cleaned his diet. Most of the side effects, at least from the outside, look like they're gone. And yeah, man, that's my thoughts. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. And that's going to be all for today's episode. Please subscribe to my channel, and for any of my coaching services, obviously, the link is in the description box as well as in the comments. And hopefully I will see you in a few days after Sam Sulek competes, and we're going to do another review on his show's appearance. Cheers.